Greetings and welcome to Causeless Joy Tarot. Welcome. We are looking already at the month of November. So today I'm working on the sign of Virgo, and the decks that we'll be using this month are the Gilded Tarot, by Ciro Marchetti, as well as the Archangel deck by Doreen Virtue. Both of these decks are my oldest decks actually, so I was guided this month to work with these two particular decks. I am doing a 7-card spread for the month of November, so let's go ahead and get started. Calling on the angels, guides, spiritual helpers, and teachers, all that loves and surrounds the sign of Virgo. Asking for clarity and vision as we look at the energies in the upcoming month of November 2017. Giving thanks in advance to all that is for perfect clarity, perfect vision, and perfect wisdom as we look at the energy coming in to the month of November. Asking for clarity and vision as we look at the energies surrounding the sign of Virgo in the month of November 2017. All right, Virgo, that feels pretty good right there. So let's go ahead and give the cards a cut. All right. So again, we are doing a 7-card spread that I'm calling the World View spread. It's a slightly different take on a typical horseshoe spread, and I'll get into more details here as we go along with this reading. So there we have the cards laid out for your spread, Virgo, and let's take a look at your bottom card. All right, and we do have the sun coming in as your overriding energy in the month of November. The sun is a very awesome and powerful card to have as your overriding energy. It signifies right up front, I get the impression that you'll be shining a light, exploring new territories in the month of November, and allowing the light within you to become more visible, to become more readily received by others. So again, this is a very life-giving, powerful energy overriding the sign of Virgo coming into the month of November. So let's go ahead now and take a look at the rest of your cards here. So we'll start with the Past card. As I mentioned, this is a slightly different take, but the first 3 cards are traditionally what you would see in a tarot spread, which we have the past, present, and future. So here we have in your past, Virgo, coming in with the Hermit in the reverse. So there has been this real coming out, this coming out of your shell. When I see the Hermit in the upright, the primary thing that the Hermit always gives off to me is wisdom. He's carrying a light. He's very reserved. He's very wise. So it's not that your wisdom has gone anywhere, Virgo. It's just that you are coming into a time where the wisdom that you do have is going to be expressed more readily available to you. Again, I'm drawn back to the sun as your overriding energy. So you are coming into the month of November with the Hermit in the reverse, indicating more of what we saw with the Sun, the ability to shine your light and allow your presence to be seen and felt more freely in the month of November. So that's very good there, Virgo. So let's move on to your present card. And in the present position, we do have the Five of Wands coming in. So there may be some conflicts surrounding you, Virgo, in the month of November. This card indicates, as you can see, these people have sticks. They're competing against one another, and that word is coming in very strong right now, is competition. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you'll be faced with a great deal of conflict in the month of November, but perhaps there will be a heightened level of competition on your job, in your relationship, perhaps. But there is this Five of Wands energy in your in your present energy field. So that is something to keep in mind and be mindful of. Now, the Five of Wands is also about overcoming. So if there is this sense of competition or conflict, you are in a position to overcome this level of conflict. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look now at your next card, which is your future card. And here we have another five coming in. Fives also signify change. So some changes may be afoot for Virgos in the month of November, something to keep an eye out for there. And again, this Five of Cups is it's all about linking things together, putting the pieces of the puzzle together effectively enough so that you're able to actually get past this competitive and perhaps even conflicting energy that you're experiencing now. This Five of Cups is coming up in the reverse. Cups are also about emotions. So here, when we see the card in the upright, you see this guy is pretty desolate. He doesn't see the cups that are behind him. But I'm getting the impression here, Virgos, that you are moving into a place where you will be able to more readily receive the gifts that are around you. Again, you have that sun energy overriding you in the month of November, as well as these two fives coming in back to back, signifying some changes are on deck for Virgos in the month of November. So let's go ahead and move on to the next card then. What we have coming in next, which this card represents your current outlook, how you're viewing the world. All right, so this is the area where this spread begins to look perhaps a little different than what you would typically see in a 7-card spread. So here, your current outlook, Virgo, is that you have this Ace of Wands coming in the reverse. Now, wands are all about that passionate, action-oriented energy, and it's coming in the reverse. So as a current outlook, perhaps Virgos are not feeling like they either have the passion or the resources or the creativity even to start a new venture. So what I'm picking up here is that you currently see the world as I don't want to say not having the opportunities that you're looking for, because I do believe that those opportunities are out there, but perhaps this competitive energy that's around you right now is affecting your current outlook. All right, it's affecting the way that you're perceiving people and things in the world, and this is around action. Any action items that you currently have on the table for yourself is what this is going to be referring to. All right, so let's move on to the next card in the spread here. And next up, we do have your external influences. So this card is how things in the world are affecting you. Okay, that's why I'm calling this the world view spread, because it's all about how you're seeing the world, how the external world is affecting you, and next we'll look at your internal power. But here we have how that external world is affecting you. We have the world coming in the reverse. So the world is it's a travel card, but it's also a card of success. So when I see this in the reverse, and given that I also see the Ace of Wands coming up here in the reverse as your current outlook, as well as this present energy of conflict and perhaps competition, it certainly makes sense to me that you would have this type of effect from the world, right? You would feel this, that you have the potential to be successful, certainly, but perhaps there are elements or extenuating circumstances. All right, took me a moment to get that word out. Extenuating circumstances that may not be allowing things to flow as smoothly as you'd like them to flow. So again, these are things that you want to be mindful of in the month of November as you move through your daily life. So next up we have the internal influences. And again, we have another success card here, the Six of Wands coming in the reverse. Now this card represents the internal influence. This is your driving force, your true power. And again, I'm getting this impression that not getting what you've worked really hard to attain is impacting you at a emotional and mental level. Perhaps for some of you, this may be the case. So I'm feeling that as an internal influence. When I see this victory card coming up in the reverse, what I'm guided to say to Virgos right now is that wherever you are in terms of achieving the goals that you've set for yourself, whatever station you find yourself at in life, whether you're just starting a venture, whether you're well off down the road on a venture, or whether you're wrapping up, getting ready to end a venture, you know, the ultimate outcome is always going to be based in your perception. So again, I have this Ace of Wands coming up in the reverse as how you're looking at the world. We have the world itself coming out in the worldview spread as your external influence in the reverse. And then here in the reverse, we have this victory card that's really driving you. This hesitation or pausing with getting that what you want is really having an impact on the way you're viewing the world. So again, something to be mindful of. And if there's any thing that you personally do to keep your energy levels up and clear, then absolutely do that, because it'll be helpful for you in the month of November is what I'm picking up. All right, so the last card is our outcome card. And this kind of summarizes the last three cards. So again, we had your current outlook, your external influences, and your internal influences here. And this card kind of summarizes those last three cards. What it's saying to me right away is that you are waiting for a decision. You're waiting on something to change, to turn this world into an upright card, as well as this victory card. You're waiting for something to change, a decision to be made. And I don't know, I'm not picking up whether that decision is within your control at all. But typically speaking, as a general rule, these things are not in our control. We do have to release any attachments that we have to outcomes in order to move through whatever is in front of us in a peaceful manner. So again, as a final outcome card, you are in a position where you're waiting for a decision. You're waiting for something in your environment to change. And the advice from Spirit, once again, is to stay very positive in your perception of your current situation. All right? So that does conclude the main portion of your reading, and we are going to move now to your guidance card, which again is coming from Doreen Virtue's deck. This deck is actually the oldest deck that I have. This is my very first deck, and this deck is probably about 10 years old. But with this particular deck, I've never had to pull, well, I don't want to say never, maybe I did at the beginning when I first started using them, but as the years have gone by, I typically don't need to pull a card from this deck. This deck speaks to me very clearly, as you just saw. When I'm shuffling this deck, it always lets me know which card is right for the reading that I'm doing. I never have to pull it. It always comes out on its own, just as it just did. So, for Virgo, you're closing out the month of November with Archangel Ariel. It says courage. Be courageous and stand up for what you believe, which is perfect, isn't it? We've been talking here about a mindset that perhaps has been affected by decisions or lack of decisions or lack of winning, or perhaps there's a lot of competition going on. You're reminded by Archangel Ariel today to be courageous and to stand up for what you believe in. But you do that in as loving a manner and as compassionate a manner as you possibly can, so that we can, mitigate some of this conflicting energy here. So again, the final card for Virgo for the month of November is going to be courage. All right. So I do wish you a very productive and peaceful month of November. Thank you for joining me here, and I look forward to seeing you again in December. Namaste.